Hey, everybody. Here's a quick word about our sponsors. First one being LASRApp. You can find them at www.lasrapp.com. They're a laser activated shot reporter. They're amazing what it can do, all of the things that you can do with it, multiple guns, multiple locations, any type of target. They have a smorgasbord of items on their website store. Check them out. Use the affiliate link below or on our website, casualshooterpodcast.com, and use the code CSP 2021 for up to 15% off items not covered by the affiliate link. Next up, we have Gun Butter. I am one of those people that I clean my gun all the time because I feel like you've always got to clean the crud and put a fresh coat of lubrication on it. That's because of the stuff we had to use in the military. I didn't like it, but I have finally landed on something I can get behind, and that is gun butter. I did not shoot. I did not clean my gun at all at nationals. I did not clean it after the match before nationals, nor the match before that. And there's still gun butter oil on my gun. And I'm going to be using their grease on the lugs of my bolt gun. Next, we have HOIST. It is IV level hydration. It's clinically proven to absorb 110% faster than water. You've got all the right ingredients of your electrolytes that you need: magnesium, calcium, sodium, potassium. It's all in there. A little bit of sugar, but that mixes the right amount to make it absorb rapidly so it's not sitting in your belly and weighing you down. So check it out. Get hydrated, stay hydrated. And thanks for checking out our sponsors. It helps with the podcast. Welcome to this week's edition of the Casual Shooters Podcast, your premier podcast for the casual shooter. This week's guest is the 2021 Ladies Carry Optics National Champion and the 2022 Ladies IPSC National Champion. She won both of them as a teen. I had the opportunity to watch her shoot at this year's Carry Optics National Championship, and let me tell you, she's very, very impressive. So with that, let's bring Morgan Leonhardt onto the show. How you doing, Morgan?
Hi, Dave. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well.
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. If you would, please take just a second and introduce yourself.
Awesome. So I'm Morgan. I'm 15 years old. I've been shooting since I was 9. I started with shooting 3-gun, and this is my second year shooting USPSA.
I'm sorry, did you just say your second year shooting USPSA?
It is. I started shooting USPSA 7 months before Nationals last year. So
For the love of God, I am quitting. That's it. Quit. Holy cow. Well, that did not go the direction I was expecting.
It's a little bit crazy.
Complete left turn.
It's been a crazy journey.
And a short one. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So you said you've listened to the podcast before, so you know these first 5 questions are going to be the most difficult questions of your life.
They are.
Okay. All right. So with that, favorite movie?
I'm going to have to go with Gunpowder Milkshake. It's not a very popular movie, but if you have seen it, you know it is a great movie. It's kind of this girl who grew up with her mom who had a very secretive job, and she kind of took on her mom's role. And she's like a little assassin cool girl, but it's a good, exciting movie.
Who stars in it?
Good question. Not sure. I've seen it so many times I should know, but I don't.
Interesting. There's all kinds of people in there. Paul Giamatti, Angela Bassett. Okay.
It's a cool little movie.
Yeah. Now I'm going to have to check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like it's on Netflix too. Boom. I'm in.
Perfect.
All right. Now I know what my wife and I will watch next, because we're always like, what are we going to watch on Netflix? What are we going to watch on this? It's hard. It's like the series that we normally watch, they're all in between seasons. So
Mm-hmm.
we just look for different things. So we'll have to watch that.
Awesome.
I like that. Okay. Favorite book?
Right. So, books, it's hard for me to sit still and read a book, right? So, I've yet to find an amazing book that I love. But I read a ton because of like school. We read probably 3 books a year for like English class. So we just started The Scarlet Letter. Not
Mhm.
quite sure what it's about. We like started it today. So
Okay.
that's that. And then we're reading The Great Gatsby later on this year.
Oh, okay. That's a good story. Yep, that's good. Okay. So you're just starting The Scarlet Letter. Well, I do know what that's about. I'm not going to tell you because that'd be a spoiler alert. So you have to read it and figure it out.
I'll let you know.
Okay, I like it. Okay. So, favorite superhero, if you're not into that, favorite historical figure or whom someone you just look up to.
Superhero, of course.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Spider-Man because I feel like Spider-Man has a combination of everything. He can like fly with his webs. He can like shoot people with his spider webs. He can get places faster with his spider webs. He has like super strength with his spider webs. I like Spider-Man.
Okay. And he doesn't have to worry about getting bit by a spider anymore. He's good.
Exactly. He's all good. Worst
Yeah.
fear is gone.
Yeah, he's immune. I like it. Favorite gun. Now you started in 3 gun, so you've shot rifle, shotgun, and pistol. So
Yes.
which gun is your favorite and which caliber? They don't have to be the same. Like it doesn't have if your favorite gun is your shotgun, it doesn't have to be a 12
Yeah.
gauge as your favorite caliber.
So for 3 gun, I did actually love my shotgun, which was surprising because when I started shooting 3 gun, my shotgun was taller than me.
I believe
So
it.
yes, it was taller than me. So I'm shooting it, and as I would drop down to load, my barrel would drag on the ground. And I have
Oh,
video proof. I have video proof of my gun dragging on the ground as I'm walking backwards loading. So I think that
uh,
was quite ironic, quite funny. Because I love my shotgun, but I also love my Glock 17, specifically with my primary machine slide, because they let me
yeah.
design a slide last year, which I thought was super cool and it's super special, and I love it so much. So I love 9mm.
Now, is it the one you posted the pictures of for the world shoot?
That's a different gun, but that's
Okay.
amazing too. They did awesome with that Cerakote job. I love it, and I think it's beautiful and amazing and perfect. But they let me design it right after nationals last year. At nationals, actually. So I guess I designed it right before, and they came and watched me shoot, and then they handed me the slide, and they're like, here's the slide you made. And so I've shot that up until, well, I still shoot it for my USPSA gun, but up until 4 days before IPSC nationals, that's the gun I've always shot.
And then you started shooting the other slide right before IPSC Nationals, or?
Yes, so we got our IPSC guns on Tuesday, and we left for IPSC nationals Thursday. Maybe it's Monday and Thursday. We had the guns for a total of 4 days before national. And actually, so we got 3 guns, and I chose the one I wanted, trained with it once, maybe I had 200 rounds through it. And then we got to nationals, and I could not sight my gun in. Like it was just I kept hitting left. So I switched guns that morning and shot with a completely other new gun that had no rounds through it that I've shot. So that was interesting. But it was great, and it was
Wow.
fun, and it worked.
So I'm sharing the screen of your IPSC World Shoot gun with the
Yes.
American flag on one side, and it looks like it's engraved IPSC World Shoot on the other.
Yes. It's
Very
awesome.
nice.
They did such a good job. They kind of had free reign. I told them, make it American, give it a flag, put the logo on there somewhere, and they created that awesome design, and I love it.
Yeah, very nice. I can see why you would love it. There we
And they're
go.
just each a little bit different.
Oh, yeah, I can see what you're saying. The flag's a little bit different on each one.
Yep.
Cool. All right. That's very nice. All right. So the fifth one is a little bit more catered towards the guest. So my fifth and final icebreaker question is, do you play any sports?
So I played softball for my high school the past few years, but then I like hurt my rotator cuff, and now my arm does weird things when I go to throw and hit, and my shoulder rolls out of its socket, and they're like, yeah, there's nothing we can do to fix this. So I am now like, I'm not going to play softball again just because, like, shoulder, I wanted to keep my shoulder and not have it break even more. And it's just a lot of time that I didn't have for shooting because it was every single day, both on weekdays and weekends. So I'd have practice for 2.5 hours. I wouldn't get home till 7:30, and it was every weekend. So it's like, wow, I have no time to shoot. But shooting's my main thing.
Okay. So shooting has supplanted then the softball.
It has.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now we have a full-time teenage chance of being world champion pistol shooter. I like it. I mean, you're going to win so many things by the time you're 18, you can retire and be a goat. Crazy. All right. So you had mentioned that you started shooting at 9. So how did that happen? How did you start shooting at 9?
Right. So my dad shot a little bit, just like every couple of months he would go to a match, and he would like dry fire sometimes, and I would join him just a little bit. I had a little 22 rifle. So like I knew safety rules, I knew how to work a gun. I knew what to and to not do. I knew the rules of USPSA. And I asked him, I was like, hey, can I come watch you shoot a match this weekend? He's like, sure. So I went and watched, and the match director was like, hey, do you want to come shoot? And I was like, I have a rifle in the car. And he's like, perfect. So I shot a stage, and he saw that I could be safe. And he was like, cool, come back and shoot the whole entire match next time. So I did that, and I just kept going, and I fell in love with it.
Now, was that a USPSA match or was that a 3-gun match?
It was a USPSA match. And the first few years I shot, I kind of got my own rules. So I would go shoot 3-gun with just a PCC, like local matches. And I would go shoot USPSA, like I started with just a 22 or just a PCC. That lasted about a whole, maybe a year. And I was shooting PCC, and the RO was like, hey, you can't shoot the steel and the clays because like they're too close, blah blah blah, whatever. I was like, oh, so I'm gonna get all those penalties? He's like, yeah. And I was like, nah. So I walked up to my dad. I was like, how bad is the shotgun? He's like, what? I was like, punch me in the shoulder. How does the shotgun feel? He's like, it's just like a little nudge. I was like, no, punch me in the shoulder. So he gave me a little punch, and he did it pretty light. It was not how a shotgun felt. Said, okay, I'll shoot your shotgun then. He's like, okay. So I switched to full-time 3-gun when I was 10 years old. And that's when I got a Glock put in my hands. And I shot a 9mm pistol. And I got this rifle and that shotgun. And just went uphill from there.
Wow. Now, what gauge was his shotgun? Do you know?
12 gauge. It was a 12 gauge shotgun. It was a Benelli.
Wow. Okay. So the first time you pulled the trigger, how did you feel when that thing kicked?
I felt something, and I felt a whole lot of that something. And it caught me off guard, but I kept going, and I had to load it, so it took forever. Sitting there loading 2 shells at a time. And it was a big stage. It was a big stage. Like, I had to load like 9 rounds. Like, it was not 5 rounds of shotgun. It was a big stage.
Wow. Okay. Holy cow. So you're like, I'm not getting all those penalties. Dad, let me have your guns.
That was my breaking point, all those penalties.
Wow. Okay. So then you did that then for what, like the next 3 years?
Yeah, probably 3 years.
So did your dad get you your own shotgun, your own pistol, all of that, so you didn't have to borrow his?
Yes, I shot a Beretta 1301, and then I got my Glock. I started the Glock 34, and the gun was twice the size of my hand. I mean, seriously, I have pictures, and I'm like, I'm about to fall backwards. That thing looks huge, and just had, yeah, and then some thrown together rifle that he put together. So yeah.
That is funny. But yeah, I mean, you're like 10 years old, so everything's way big on you.
Oh, it's crazy. And I could not manage recoil to save my life. So I'm gonna hold boom, boom.
Wow. Now, did he get you a 16 or a 20 gauge shotgun, or did you get a 12 gauge?
12 gauge shotgun.
Wow. Okay. All right. Game on, I guess. Wow.
Full freedom mode.
Goodness, that's crazy. But good at the same time. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it created a ton of bad habits. I would push in to my pistol so incredibly much, like so, not like so incredibly hard, so much. It took forever to break those habits to where I would like let the gun recoil because I was just pushing it down. So it took 2 years to get out of that habit. I guess the shotgun and rifle is fine though.
So how did you break yourself of the habit of doing that?
It made me do 100 push-ups every single night, which really sucked. But
Just to try to build your strength?
yes, and while he was shooting, he would make me to build my strength. And while he was training, I would have to stand behind him and keep my eyes open and not blink. So I learned to not blink. I got some strength so I could actually hold the gun. And he just told me don't push into the gun. And a whole bunch of training after that. Whole bunch of dry fire. A lot of just getting used to the gun in your hand.
Do you think playing softball helped with grip strength or anything?
Maybe not grip strength, but definitely like movement, like footwork and short movements. Because I played middle infield, so it's a lot of shuffle, quick movement, quick
Right.
reaction. So I think those really correlated and helped each other a lot.
Absolutely. And I'm sure the hand-eye coordination
Yeah.
it takes to hit the softball helped as well.
Yes, the definitely hand-eye coordination too.
Now, do you ever watch the Women's College World Series?
I don't. I mean, I like do, but I'm not like sitting there yelling at the TV like I'm yelling at a football game.
Those women can play some softball.
Oh, they can. They definitely can.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Yes, it is.
Now, okay, so for 3 years you did 3 gun, and then so probably February, March timeframe of 2021, you made the switch to USPSA. Have you shot any 3 guns since then?
I shot Fort Benning
Okay.
like a month or so after nationals last year. And now it's November. So I guess it was a couple weeks after. But I have not shot 3 gun since then. And I didn't really train 3 gun before then either. I kind of went in like, man, I haven't shot my shotgun or rifle in a really long time. But we're still here and we're still going to do it. And it was good. I actually played really good at that match, which was surprising.
I guess you never really lose it then.
I guess not. So yeah,
Remember?
I used to, yeah,
Go ahead.
it just kind of, it's hard to lose, I guess. I don't know. So once you've been doing something for so long, it just comes back naturally. But I shot open and 3 gun with a tube fed gun. And I just shot my Glock with a dot. And I just shot dots on my guns because that's all I wanted. So I classified and open with a tube fed gun and a dot on my shotgun and on my pistol.
And everybody else, were they shooting a semi-auto shotgun?
Yeah, they had like mag fed shotguns and
Yep.
yeah, I was still out there reloading after my few rounds.
Well, at least the barrel wasn't dragging. That was good.
Right? Eventually got taller than my gun.
Yeah, exactly. You're actually pretty tall now, so you grew pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm almost taller than my dad.
You probably still have a little bit of growing to do, so
Yeah.
not too bad. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
Okay, because I'm giving you right now. We're going to do the national champion questionnaire.
Okay.
So even though you've already become a national champion, we're still going to give you the questionnaire. So
Okay.
one, because the men have a height requirement to be a national champion. Now, how Christian and Max Leograndis found a cheat code, I don't know. But the requirement is to be at least 5'13" to be a men's national champion. So 6'1".
Yes.
Were you homeschooled?
I was not. I was never homeschooled.
Okay. Did you grow up on a farm?
I did not grow up on a farm.
Okay. Well, you have definitely bucked the system. And in spite of that, in spite of not being 5'13", not being homeschooled, and not growing up on a farm, you still became a national champion. So there
You
you go.
don't have to live on a farm, apparently.
Apparently not. I thought I heard on, I believe I remember hearing you were on Steve Anderson's podcast back in January.
Yes.
And I thought I heard you. Did you train with Christian? I know he gave you some tips, but did you actually train with him?
Yes, I have trained with Christian, and I love training with Christian because Christian, he's one of the younger ones in shooting. So it's easier to connect and talk to someone that's younger because it's like, okay, you can see where I'm coming from. You were in this position not very long ago, and you've worked up from where I am. So you know what I can do to get out of this. It's not like some old guy, no offense, y'all, that doesn't know how to work with a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, I had Garen Singleton on, and I asked him, I was like, if you had an opportunity to work with someone, who would it be? And he said Christian. I'm like, well, it makes perfect sense. You guys are about the same age, so
Yeah.
it would be, yeah, a great training session between the two of you. So I totally get where Christian would be that person. Now, have you taken any other or trained with anybody else?
Yes, I have. I've trained with quite a few people actually. Done Max Leograndis, JJ.
Now
I
JJ's old.
but JJ's cool. JJ, you're a cool dude.
He's cool for an old guy.
I guess you could say so. Who else have I trained with? My very first class was with Kita, and
Oh, wow.
she set my foundation. I trained with her when I was like 10, I think. So that's kind of like where all my original stuff came from, and I've just used everybody else to build off of it because I didn't know what to do before. My dad didn't know what to do, so
Okay.
she helped us, and we
So,
worked up. I trained with like Blake Migas because he lives close to me, so I've gone and trained with him a few times. So I'll go train with him like a couple times every other month or so. He's really cool to work with because I don't know, I feel like he can help me a lot. He has really aggressive movements.
oh, really?
He does, yes. If you've ever
Oh.
watched Blake move, he can move.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he gets it. He
Mm-hmm.
seems like he'd be a pretty cool guy to work with.
He is, yeah. I've stayed at his house and we've just shot, went home, slept, and then shot again for a weekend. So that's always fun.
You've actually trained with quite a few people, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes, I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, for sure. Now, how neat was it? I've had Kita on here, and she, I mean, a wealth of knowledge with movement and all kinds of stuff. And now she's getting to, the eye movement thing, a lot of different stuff. But how neat was that for you to be able to take a class from another female like that?
That was really cool because there's not a ton of female shooters. So getting to have like just get into shooting and getting to train with another female that shot and could shoot and knew how to teach me was really cool because I don't know, guys don't know how to train a 10-year-old girl. They're like, I don't know what
Right.
to teach her. Like, but I feel like Kita really got it. She was very patient and she could talk with me and she could really help me figure out movements and how to start and where to start.
Yeah, I mean, she has a daughter too, so that
Mhm.
helps her to be able to relate to you as well. So,
Yeah,
yeah, that had to be pretty cool.
it was very cool.
So now we're up to March of 2021. You're only, like you said, 7 months out from nationals.
Hmm.
At that point, when you decided to start shooting USPSA, I guess in earnest,
Hmm.
um, what was your goal at that point? Like, what were you looking to do?
Um, I I really just wanted to learn how to shoot a pistol because well, I knew how to shoot a pistol, but I found out I had some talent in that, and I wanted to push and see where I could get with that, and just how hard and how far I could push myself. But going into nationals, I had no expectations. I thought I was just going for experience. I was kind of just going to see everybody else shoot. So
Really?
yes.
You had no expectations at all.
I did not have any expectations. Like this was my first time ever shooting nationals. It was one of my few, well, not few, but like close to the beginning big matches. I felt like I didn't have a lot of experience with USPSA. I didn't even classify myself as a USPSA shooter then. I was like, no, I'm a 3-gun shooter. I'm just messing around in my off season. And then after, my dad was like, yeah, I think you gotta call yourself a USPSA shooter. And I was like, I can't do it. He's like, you gotta do it. Okay, I'll do it then.
So, how do you classify yourself now?
USPSA shooter, past
Okay.
3-gun shooter. Still love 3-gun though.
That's a lot of equipment to take to a match to do a 3-gun.
It is so crazy hard to train for. It's basically like training 4 different things because you have pistol, you have shotgun, then you have close rifle and then long range rifle. And the 2 different rifles are very different. Well, same rifle, but like 2 different shooting techniques are very different. And it's long range rifle is very much breathing control, smooth trigger pulls, don't
Yes.
move an inch of your body.
Yes. That's actually where I got my start was long range rifle.
Yeah,
So,
it was
absolutely.
it's very painful to shoot if you're not very good at it. But once you figure out your rifle and your like best technique or like what works best for you, then long range rifle can get fun to shoot. It's fun to hit really far stuff and you're like, wow, I just hit that 600-yard target. Holy cow.
What's the farthest target you've hit?
Not with with my 3-gun rifle, my 223. Definitely some target in Texas. I don't know, maybe like 600-ish yards.
Okay.
But at a range we train with some guy. I don't even know what rifle it was. This was, I don't know, before I even shot USPSA. He's like, hey, you wanna shoot my rifle? And I was like, sure. And he's like, cool, you got 1 bullet, choose your target. I was like, oh, 800 yards. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot that one. And this is not a huge target at 800 yards. It's not like a full size target. It was, I don't remember how big it was, but it was not very big, and I actually hit it. So 800 yards technically with some other rifle. Don't know a rifle. Couldn't even tell you anything about it. 600 yards with my 223.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. Goodness. Yeah, you're a natural. So, how did you from March to October, because that's when last year's nationals was like mid-October.
Mhm.
What matches did you shoot? What type of training did you do to even prepare for that?
That's a long time ago. A lot. It's always a lot of fundamentals. We always and still do start with fundamentals and just trigger prep and working like 20 alphas. We always do 20 alphas, doubles, just to get your trigger finger warmed up and like make sure you can shoot straight. And then it's more of like target transitions, really. So that's mainly what we worked on. Just a lot of grip and a lot of just smooth trigger pulling and just do everything else at sight's pace. That's how I remember last year's training going.
And that was with your Glock 17.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you try to get as many major matches in as you could to kind of prepare yourself for that type of a match?
I did not shoot a lot of majors last year that I remember. We did not travel a ton. I probably shot maybe 2 majors in between that time, maybe 3.
Okay. So did you like go to your dad and say, "Hey, I want to shoot USPSA nationals," or did he broach the subject with you?
He kind of just told me. He was like, "Hey, we're shooting nationals. You gotta start shooting pistol." And I was like, "Okay, let's do this."
It's kind of like, "Hey, we're having spaghetti for dinner."
And you're like, "All right, I guess we are."
Yeah. Hey, we're going to nationals in October, so you're going to be a pistol shooter. Okay.
How it
I'll
went.
take some Parmesan cheese on top of that, please.
Exactly.
Okay. So when did you guys get to nationals last year? Like the same time you did this year, like the day before, or?
Yeah, the day before to walk stages, and basically, yeah, the day before just walk stages and get relaxed, get used to the range a little bit, get your mindset right, and then the rest was just shooting nationals.
Well, how did you like the stages last year?
I liked them. I didn't. Was Zone C the hard zone?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the one with the really long straight one where you had to run
yeah,
with the ammo can and all of that.
yeah. That was a rough zone, man. But
We're
the rest, maybe I like the stages. Mix them up a little bit so I don't have to poop my pants all day worrying about everything on one zone. Um,
yeah.
yeah, Zone C was rough. I'll never forget this. My last stage of nationals last year was a stage with the 2, like, a quarter of a target swingers. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
The half A
Yep.
zone. I had 3
Yep.
mics. Yeah, I had 3 mics. And I took like
Wow.
3 I took 3 passes on each swinger. And I had 3 mics.
All
That was
right.
that was a rough stage. And I reloaded to a big stick and my reload did not seat. So I had to do a little weird stand and reload too.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you still won though.
Yeah, everything went downhill on that one stage and I was like, I don't know what to do.
Well, how did you like the ammo can stage?
that that was fine for me. I don't remember anything weird happening.
That was a fun stage. I actually enjoyed that one. They also had the stage where it was all one hand. You had to run from one box to another box up in zone C,
With the
reload,
reload,
move to the, yeah.
we trained weekend reloads every single training session trying to figure out the way to reload. I don't remember how I did it, but I remember we kept switching methods and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to do a reload with my left hand, but I figured it out and did the reload with my left hand. So
Okay.
that's yeah. Actually, that stage wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought that was gonna go dumpster fire.
Yeah, it wasn't my best one, that's for sure.
It definitely did not go very good for lots of people. It
Now,
was,
which zone did you start on that year?
I think we started on A. I shot with the Ladies Super
Okay.
Squad. I think we started ABC, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you started at the first one and then finished up at the top on zone C on the final day. Okay. I
Yep.
started on zone C, so my whole match didn't start
Yeah.
off good. I
Yeah,
was
no,
like,
you start in zone C, you're just like,
mm,
ah.
yeah, that wasn't good at all. That's a killer on your confidence after that one. It's like, why
Definitely.
couldn't I have started somewhere else?
It's okay though. You got through it.
Absolutely. And I went back to shoot it again this year. But now you get to nationals, you walk the stages, you're getting ready to shoot. I also think I remember hearing you say you didn't know anything about the scores at all during nationals
Yeah.
of 2021.
I never check scores when I shoot. I don't know where I'm standing. I don't watch other people shoot. I don't know how their match is going. I don't know what their scores are like. I know nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. I don't even have a clue. I could not tell you.
What about this year?
Same thing. Always.
Really? So you
I
didn't know how close you and Justine were and like what type of a lead you had going into that very last stage?
mm-mm. Nope.
Wow,
Then
that's
when the match is
shocking.
over, come. What'd you say?
Oh, I just said that's shocking that you did not know that. It's impressive that you're able to not know that.
It's it's tempting to look, but I have withstand my ground into not looking at my scores. I don't. Okay. This year, I didn't even look at my scores after I shot a stage. I don't. It wasn't like on purpose. It was just that I wasn't like, oh my gosh, what was my time? What was my hit factor? I would check my hits, like my alpha and Charlie count, and be like, okay, I really need to focus on alphas on this next stage because I let too many Charlies slide. But like people would be like, oh, what was your time? I was like, I have no clue. Let me go find my paper.
So it's got to make it easier than if you're not focused on your time, then it's not like you get hung up on that and you're like, "Oh, I need to pick up the pace on the next one." You're just like, "I need to either be more accurate or I'm good with however I shoot."
Yes. Yeah. So I try not to think about that when I shoot. I try to just shoot and remember what I trained, and I try not to push. I try to like stay relaxed, stay calm. If I need to fix something though, like if my dad sees that I'm dropping so many points or if I'm just taking too much time, he'll be like, "Hey," he won't even tell me. He won't be like, "Hey, speed it up," or "Hey, you need more alphas." He'll just come up. He'll help me find a stage plan that he thinks will help me get more alphas or will help me push the pace a little bit. So he kind
Okay.
of manages all of that, which I'm kind of thankful he got DQ'd at nationals. No hate, but he was able to help me a ton. Sorry, Dad.
Okay.
It's after he gets DQ'd though, he laxes off. So it's more like I come up with my own stage plans, then go talk with him about it instead of combining stage plans. It's like I come up with something, change it a little bit, and then go ask him, and he'll tell me if I should take this target from up here instead of back here, or whatever. But he does a good job of keeping track of stuff for me, so I don't have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay. So a little bit of a coach while you're there.
Yes, yes, it's
Very
more
nice.
code.
That was going to be one of my questions is because like JJ's dad goes to matches with him,
Mm-hmm.
um, and one of the guys I know had shot Area 8 on the same squad as JJ, and JJ and his dad talked a lot. So I kind of looked at it as like, okay, he was kind of I don't want to say he was coaching JJ, but in a way, it gives JJ someone to talk to and bounce things off
Yeah.
of. And if his dad sees something, because his dad's been watching him shoot since he was a kid, then
Mhm.
he can mention that. So, what are your thoughts as someone who's reached the top at such a young age, but yet obviously, I mean, you can still get better and better and better. I mean, who knows really how good you're gonna be by the
Yeah.
time you're done shooting? What are your thoughts on coaching and coaches at like a nationals or a world shoot event?
Right. So I always find it helpful to have my dad with me. And I don't talk to my dad the whole time we're shooting. Like it's we don't I don't like to talk to people when I shoot. I'm very much in my zone. I'm focused. I'm probably making a little pattern with my steps as I go reshoot. Paste. So we're not like talking the whole time, but it's probably like the first 10 minutes we get on a stage. Like we have our 5 minute walkthroughs where we kind of talk, and then 5 minutes after that, and then that's kind of it. Like we're not sitting there discussing everything a ton. Um.
So, what if you're the first shooter?
Okay, so I do not like when he talks to me before I shoot because I will be going through my stage plan. He's like blah 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 blah. Oh, you should do blah 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 and change blah 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 and do a reload blah blah blah. And I'm like, stop. I got my plan. I'm not changing it. I'm shooting in 30 seconds. Quit talking to me. He's like, but I'm just trying to help you. I was like, all right, help. It's not going to help at this point. This is just blabber. So that's a ton. Usually we'll discuss that at the end of the stage before, if we remember. If not, he tries to go grab my mags for me, which I also, that's a no-no now. I was first on a stage one time at a 3-gun match, and I was like, hey, I don't have time to run back to the car. Can you go grab my mags? And he grabbed the wrong rifle mag. It was a half full 30 round rifle mag with my close range ammo instead of my long range ammo with 8 targets going out to 600 yards on a rock. So, of course, he grabbed the mag with 12 rounds in it that won't hit these targets. And I'm like, all right, you are the canceled caddy. You just sit there now.
You've been fired.
He did get fired.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And I will never let go of that. That's the one thing I will forever hold on to.
Oh, that's hysterical. Now, you won last year's nationals at the age of 14. You were literally points away from winning again this year. Um, how do you deal with that stress?
Um, I just kind of try to block it out. You know, it's of course there's some like pressure going into it because everyone's like, oh, I expect you to win. Like I'm expecting high stuff from you. And I'm just like, dang.
Mm.
Like I'm trying not to think about that. Quit putting that in my head. So I just kind of block that out, put that out of my mind. I'm not telling myself anything. It's really just go shoot, Morgan. Just go shoot. You shot that same target 800 million times. Go do it again.
Is
So
that how you went into IPSC Nationals as well? Same thing?
IPSC Nationals was very much, I thought it was going to be an experiment. I've never shot IPSC before. I switched guns that morning. I've never shot that gun. It's crazy new rules. It was a very big language barrier, not much of English happening. And I was terrified, not gonna lie. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do something so incredibly wrong. They're gonna DQ me. So I was very nervous for that. I was clarifying my make readies. I was like, oh, I can make ready. He's like, I make ready. I was like, okay. And I'm telling myself the whole time, don't look at the target, don't pull your trigger, don't rack your slide. Because during my make readies, I
Mm.
always draw my gun, rack, trigger, pull, rack, grab go through my array, load, you know, all of that jazz. And this is check your dot, load, put your gun down, stand straight, look forward, don't blink. So I was going to experience an IPSC match because that's the only IPSC match we have before the world shoot. So I was going and I was like, stay calm, just listen. The shooting's still the same. It's very
Now,
much.
what made you guys choose IPSC Nationals over the Pan American games?
We did not have our guns for Pan American.
Okay.
So
Well, it worked
was
out.
really that. We looked out. We got the guns a couple days before nationals, and we're like, okay, we got them. Let's fly them there now.
And you didn't have to shoot in that swamp.
Yes. Oh my gosh, the poor Pan American people. I'm so sorry for y'all. Had to shoot through a swamp, and the weather was nice for us. It dried up really nicely. It was sunny. Felt good. Wasn't too hot.
Yeah, I was looking at your videos. I mean, the ground looked absolutely perfect for shooting.
It was. It didn't really. It was sloppy in some parts, but not like they had ankle deep stuff. It was just like
yeah,
a little bit squishy right here. But yeah, it was pretty dry.
You know who Matt Hopkins is?
Yes, I do know who Matt Hopkins is.
So I don't remember if I messaged him or just commented on. I think I just commented on one of his pictures from the Pan American Games, and I was like, I'm surprised Mother Nature didn't steal one of your shoes running through that goop. And he's like, she tried twice. So twice he almost lost his shoe in that muck.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That definitely adds such a different aspect to the match. Trying to not fall down and get stuck while you're shooting.
That and adds not getting, if you drop one of your mags in that mess, you got to go back and find it.
No picking up the mag after. That mag is going in the trash pile. I mean, I live in Louisiana, so we get some bad weather. I have shot in some really weird weather. I've not lost my shoe, but I have been covered in mud or covered in wetness. Yeah, rain.
So you're used to humidity and all of that then?
Oh, yes. It's so humid here. It's like soup outside. It's like walking into a steamer and you're like, ugh, this is gross out here. So once it hits anything like 75 degrees or lower, you're like, oh, yeah, it's getting winter out here. It's getting cool. I'm going to need a jacket.
Okay. Now, so CMP and Frostproof, you must be like, man, I'm good with this weather.
Yeah, it's great. Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little neck fan. Little neck fan just adds some luxury to the shooting. Like, I feel like I'm VIP. 75 degrees. And I got a fan on. This is great.
What's it like shooting on the women's super squad?
Oh, it's so much fun. I love it. It's like there's still that competition there. But it's like a little bit of serious competition. And then there's friendly competition. And then there's messing around. And then there's amazing reset. And the squad's always flowing because they know how to run stuff. And it's just really chill. They're really lax. They're very helpful to everybody. It's not like I'm out to get you.
Right. No, I mean, I made sure this year to shoot opposite of the super squads. So I would be free to be able to watch. And the guys will joke around with each other at times, but when I could stand in between the stages and watch the men and the women super squad, it's like a party over here on the women's side. And it's like, okay, they're waiting for someone on the other side to get DQ'd just so they could cut the numbers down. I mean, it's like, it's intense on one side and party on the other.
I imagine the tension they feel over there. Like, I don't know what I would do if I shot with them. I'd be standing there, but like, oh no, you're trying to get me DQ'd and you're trying to make me have mics, and I don't know what to do. But the women's squad are so hopeful. They're like, oh, you got this. don't freak out, just breathe. Like after we're bringing up my dad's DQ again. After my dad got DQ'd, I had to shoot right after him because Leonhardt. So he's just got DQ'd. I just watched this happen. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate watching my dad shoot because I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. If he does something wrong, I'm gonna go do it. I don't know who gets more nervous. I don't know if he gets more nervous when he watches me shoot, or if I get more nervous when I'm watching him shoot. But so after he got DQ'd, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go shoot now. And they're also helpful. They're like, just breathe. Like Ashley came up to me. She's like, just breathe. It's fine. Shake it off. And Justine was like, you're fine. Just breathe. Don't let that bother you. And all the women are like, y'all can talk about that later. But right now, just focus on you. Like, go take some breaths. Go drink some water. Just program this stage and you're going to be fine. So they're all super helpful with that. And that made it much easier to deal with.
Wow. Now, did your dad's DQ affect you, or do you think you shot your regular stage, or do you think you were a little conservative?
I think I kind of shot me. I mean, it did affect me a little bit because it's like you don't DQ at a national because of that. Like, what just happened? That was so weird. So I was nervous the rest of the time. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like at make readies or walkthroughs, I was so nervous the rest of the time. And I still get nervous over it. I'm just like, I keep my hands right here. I'm like on my chest or on my side or on my hips. And I'm like, this makes me nervous now. Like I didn't know that could happen. I didn't know my body would do that.
Oh,
So
wow.
it affected me some, actually, more than I thought. If it was like a 180 thing or something, I definitely would have been shooting way more conservative because I've always been like the 180 is always like right there in my mind. Like when we're walking stages, I'm like I want to stay under 160. Like I don't even want to be close to the 180. This makes me nervous. It's like sometimes you don't even have a choice. And it's like the only place you can shoot that target, and I still get nervous over it.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, I've been DQ'd twice for that, so I totally get
Yeah.
it. And
Yep.
now I will run a stage plan to make sure that I'm not anywhere near that 180. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm. And I always ask,
Now,
I'm like,
now, if you don't mind me asking, what did cause your dad to get DQ'd?
yes. So, it was day two. So, I don't remember what zone it was. We didn't go 1, 2, 3. We went out of order. I think we started on 3. We started on 3.
You did.
So,
So it would have been
so
zone A if it was day 2.
zone A. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's the first shooter. It was in the morning, and it was one of those, the 2 stages on a bay,
Yep.
and he was starting, and it was a stomp box stage where you had 3 targets in a row, and when you
Yeah.
stomped on the stomp box, you had the no shoot that dropped down from the middle target, and
Yep.
he had been programming all the night before and that morning that it's draw stomp, not like stomp draw. He's like, okay, draw stomp, draw stomp, draw stomp. So he gets up, and no one's downrange because it's a stomp box. So everyone's behind him, and they're like, okay, Kevin, demonstrate the activator, the stomp box. So he goes, okay, and he goes and he draws his gun and stomps, and
Oh, no.
he does his little walkthrough, and he did not realize what he did, and the rest of the squad were all sitting behind him, and he unloads, shows clear, holsters. He turns around, he goes, that timing's really good. Y'all think that'll work? And everyone's standing with their mouths open. We're like, no. He's like, what do you mean? That timing was great. And someone, I don't remember who it was, I think it maybe Jilly, she was like, Kevin. He's like, what? And we're like, you drew your gun. He goes, oh no. And the RO comes up behind him and grabs him on the shoulder. I was like, we need to have a chat. And my dad was like, yeah, we do need to have a chat, huh?
Oh
So
no. Ugh.
that's how that went down. So now,
How did you have any, you didn't have any mics or anything on that stage? What was your plan? Did you so when you actually shot that stage, did you draw and stomp, or did you stomp, draw, and go left to right? Did you hit the middle one first, or how did you shoot that stage?
draw, stomp, left to right, and it worked
Okay.
out perfect. I had all alphas.
I had a I had a 9 o'clock tight Charlie, and
Hmm.
then two right beside each other in the A. Because as I transitioned across, as soon as I saw that dot go, I was like, bang, bang, bang. So
Yep.
my first one was a tad early.
Hmm. Hmm. I always
That was a
find that
fun
for those.
stage.
Yeah, I love like the little speed shoot things, but I always find for those, I'm like, I'm about to drop so many points because these are so close and I'm trying to go so fast.
Right.
So for those stages, I always tell myself, I'm like alphas, 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 because that's where I will drop all of my points.
So does saying that keep you in check?
Yes, I find it actually helps like going alphas, alphas, and like when I'm programming my stage plan, I program so much for these little stages because they're like ones that people forget about because oh it's 3 targets. It's like okay, there's still a lot of detail to pay attention to. Like I wanna see my spot on the target. Like I wanna see my A zone for every single target, and I wanna see those transitions that I'm gonna do, and I wanna see where I'm stepping on this box, and which foot, and how am I gonna stand after. Just a lot of little details that I still like to pay attention to.
Now, since you talked about your make ready,
Mhm.
what does your make ready look like? When the RO says make ready, what's your process?
I always, draw my gun. I always rack the side, make sure it's clear, just in case freak accident happens. I don't know, something happened in the last stage. I don't know, just a thing I always do. And then take a couple dry fire for your presses, and then I kind of run through my stage plan with my eyes closed in my head, and then I load and make ready, and take a little deep breath, and just remember everything like my stage plan I'm about to do.
How long does it normally take you to run through your make ready?
A long time. um, Long enough to where the people behind me are having a conversation and they don't hear gunshots for a while, so the conversation stop and it gets real quiet. That's how long it takes. Like
Okay.
2-ish minutes, maybe.
Okay. So you're
So
taking the full amount of time, basically.
I'm taking all the time I can take until the RO is like, all right, come on, like you gotta actually shoot at some point. I'm taking my time. Like these are my minutes, and I will take all my minutes.
Now, how did you like this year's stages at nationals compared to 2021?
I like I liked this year's. I found that they had like a lot of balance. There wasn't one section or zone that was particularly harder than the others. I thought it was all super balanced. There was a good amount of far targets and hard shots, and some like closer, faster targets. But I thought it was really good balance, and it was like equal playing fields if you're better at close stuff or better at far stuff. I thought they had some really good stages. They had a lot of running.
Yeah, I thought exactly what you said. I thought the stages were good. There was a good mix of targets.
Yeah.
You know, you had some strong hand, you had some weak hand, you had a couple table starts, So yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah. They did have some cool starting positions. That was one thing about IPSC Nationals. All the starting positions and the props and everything, that reminded me of Three Guns so much. And I was like, oh, it's little Three Gun stuff. It's like
Oh,
starting with like a skateboard, or what else we do? Oh, your hands in the bottom of a tub, the wall, a fishing pole.
zip line.
Yeah, the zip line thing. I really wish that I got to shoot that holding on to the zip line, but they changed it from Pan Am to Nationals to where you just started holding it, and shot everything else.
Oh,
Yeah. But
okay.
I thought that would have been super cool to shoot it strong hand only.
At IPSC Nationals, I had June Kim on,
Hmm.
and he had posted a video of an actual, what I would call a moving target. So it was on like a rail and moved.
Yeah,
Did they
the
have that?
yes, we did have the gliding targets. And that was actually really hard to find the timing because the amount of time from the activator to the release of the targets was so incredibly long. I came in on the activator and had time to shoot another steel and 3 or 4 paper targets, take a step, and I was still waiting on it.
Wow. Okay.
It had quite a few second delay, which is
How
kind
did
of crazy.
you so did you know where you I don't know what the distance was to it. So
Mhm.
were you able to just track it and aim center, or did you have to aim like on leading edge of center? How did you engage it?
Yeah, so it had some distance on it. It was like, I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but like 15, 20-ish yards, I think. So I
Okay.
was leading edge of the target, and I don't remember my hits, but I was leading like delta zone, and then leading real close to the no shoot on the following target. There's
Okay.
2 targets with a no shoot in between.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
So you did have to actually lead the
Yes.
target in order to get your hits. Okay.
You did
Oh,
have to
very
lead it. It was moving pretty fast. It was there and then it wasn't. There wasn't time to like prep for each shot because there's like 2 walls. So you had a however many foot wide gap to shoot it in before it disappeared and you had to squat down.
Okay. I when I saw it, I was jealous. I was like, "That's what I want to see at nationals. I want to see a target like that at nationals."
I know that is such a cool target and it's so rare that you see it. I've shot it once before and that was it. So I was like, "Oh, this is going to be fun. This is cool."
The only nationals you have shot is at CMP
Correct. Yep.
for USPSA, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But you shot IPSC nationals at Frostproof. Now, which range do you prefer?
Ooh, I like CMP better because if you've ever shot at the frostproof range and you've shot in the morning facing the sun, you know you cannot see those targets at all. Like the targets disappear, you're guessing where you're shooting and you're hoping and praying that you hit something. And so we had 2 morning starts facing the sun. And of course, my first target into the sun is a steel. And I can't see the steel. I can see the base of the steel. So I was like, I'll just hold a couple inches high of the base and hope I hit the steel. And I hit it, and it caught me by surprise. So I went tink, came down on it. I was like, oh, I hit it, and just continued on with my shooting. So the sun really gets to you. The sun does blind you.
Yeah, it definitely will blind you there.
And the CMP range is amazing. Like it's crazy. It's so beautiful and it's so big. And I wish that it was my local range because I don't think I would leave.
What do you how many stages were at IPSC nationals?
Um 15, I believe.
Okay, so a few less than nationals then.
Yes. It was they took
Okay.
out a couple stages from Pan Am and I think it was a couple less than nationals. I believe it was 15.
Okay. Because I've shot nationals at Frostproof and it was 21, 22 stages, 24. I forget what it was, but it was
Yeah.
quite a few. But I do like the layout at Frostproof
Yes.
because, like, for example, when I watched the Ladies Super Squad and the Men Super Squad this year, um, when you guys started off the day, it was great. You were side by side.
Mm-hmm.
But the last stage of day 3, when it was like, oh my gosh, there's literally a couple of points separating, I think 5 or something like that, you and Justine,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the complete opposite end of that same zone, you have the men's super squad, and you're like, all right, Nils has Max by like 40 and JJ by 50. So as long as he doesn't have anything catastrophic happen, he's winning. But
Yeah.
I can't stand there and watch both. I'm like, they're like 75 yards apart. I'm like, it
Yes.
sucks.
The frostproof range, everything is right next to each other. It's like
Yeah.
bay. So that's really cool because you barely walk anywhere. Unless, of course, you're going from the front all the way to the end. Which I don't think
Right.
very much. Depends on how they lay out the range.
Right. But it's a nicer layout for, if you want to be a spectator to watch, it's better. So it's nice.
Yes.
And again, there is less movement, less whatever. But I agree with you though. CMP is one of the I've shot at different ranges, and I've traveled around shooting at like different rifle ranges and stuff like that. And that is definitely one of the nicest range systems I've ever seen.
It is beautiful. It is.
Did you take advantage of the sight in range?
Yes, I did. Of course I did. Of course I did.
Okay. Not everybody did.
Yeah. If you don't, you definitely should. It's a great place. It's sight in, practice. You nervous? Go get some rounds off. I always find it super helpful. I always go to the sight in bay. Always.
I know a couple of people I've talked to did not, but I mean that's their choice. But
yeah,
I definitely did.
I just find it relaxing before I shoot because it's just a reminder to myself how I need to grip the gun and what it feels like. And if I'm on a range, I just feel more comfortable once I've had my gun in my hands because I remember what I'm doing and I remember what I trained and I remembered what I have to do.
Now, when you shot morning of day 2, what do you do to warm up since the range goes hot at 9 o'clock? So you're going to start shooting at 9, but the sight-in range doesn't start till 9. So what do you do to warm up for that first stage?
Like the grip crushers, like the cap of crunch ones, crap of crush, whatever it's called. We have those, and we keep one of those with us. And I always just squeeze that a couple times to wake up my hands. I like squeeze my hands and fists on the way to the range to wake up all my fingers, get blood flowing to them. So that's really all I do for that. And then I just go to the safe area, and do some draws, and do some trigger presses, and do some transitions with like leaves or holes in the wood or something.
Okay. That's what I was wondering, if you took advantage of that safe table and to get in there and do some warm up.
Yes.
So I want to go back again to Steve Anderson's podcast because it was when you were answering a question about something, and you said that in 2021, I think it was when you were talking about you didn't look at the scores, and at night you would go to the hotel and just practice everything you were going to shoot the next day.
Yes. So I don't really review my videos from that day at the hotel. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I'm like, okay, this day already happened. There's nothing I can do to fix it. I know in my mind what I did wrong or what I could improve on. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch this because if I watch my videos, I'm like, holy cow, that was really slow. I'm going to try and be pushing the next day. So I just don't even watch my videos, but I'll go through my stages for the following day for what I'm going to shoot next. And if there's like a little scenario or a target or something that I think I want to practice, I will set something up like that, whether it's like running around the bed or strong hand or weak hands. Lots of posters on the wall around the hotel. That is very common. So we do just kind of like dry fire like that in the hotel.
Okay. So So you don't take any like the small little miniaturized targets. You just take pasters and put those up.
Yep.
Okay. Now, how much time would you say you spend each night doing that in between the days?
Until I'm not nervous.
Oh, wow.
I pick up my gun and I'll just start freaking out or something, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I like start dry firing. I'm like, wait, I got this. I'm worried for no reason. So it's in the hotel, it's usually like 30 minutes ish that I kind of just mess around on and off. It's never like I'm putting so much pressure on myself. You have to dry fire. Like that cramming's not going to help. What I did before I came is what's going to help. This is just a reminder. It's just like a reminder to what I feel when I prep my trigger or when I'm slapping my trigger or my movements. That's really just what that is.
Did you partake in the Bill Drill side match?
I did not, because I don't know if this is gonna sound weird or not. I did not want to put it in my mind to drill 6 shots before I go shoot this long, far shot stage. Yes, at Area 5. I got PTSD from that match. I started that match with the oh my god. The 7.5 second part-time stage. And the rest of that match is far and slow, and I shot the fast stuff first. So I was pushing, and then I carried that pace over to every single stage in the rest of that match. And it was just awful and terrible. And I never wanted to ever shoot fast in the middle of a match again. So I stayed away from the build drill, so I would not do that in the rest of my stages.
Were you, that means on day 2, you guys were shooting zone A.
Yes.
You started, I believe, on stage 2. So that means you would have to go, you shot all of the stages and then would have to go back to stage 1 last. But that means you had that Beretta all the way down. I think that was stage, or zone A had 6 stages, 1 through 6. And then there was the Beretta side match. And the weird thing about it was when you got to stage 6, the Beretta side match was like another stage. So you had to kind of wait. Did you
Yes.
get affected by that at all? Like I didn't have to deal with that because I shot stage
Yeah.
1 to stage 6 and then I was done.
Mm-hmm. What did I do that during the I took my belt off, sat down, I breathed a little bit. I didn't shoot the Beretta side match. Once again, different grip, different this, different that. I
Right.
was not about to change stuff. I'm very superstitious. So I stayed, I don't know, I kind of just sat there and then went, and our last stage was the strong hand weekend stage, the 2-string.
Right.
So
Yep.
I went to the test fire bay and did some strong hand and weekend shooting, and then went and shot that stage. Kind of just great.
So you went up the hill to the side-in range?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
I think quite a few people on our squad did that.
So you said you're very superstitious. Is there anything like, do you have to wear the same pair of socks every day, or do you have any other weird superstition type things?
Oh my gosh, I have a long list. It's crazy. It's probably so bad. They probably mean nothing, but they mean something to me.
Right.
So I do have my pair of shooting shorts. Well, I have several pairs of shooting shorts. Let me put that out there. I do have several pairs of shorts. Depending on how I shoot that day, depends what pair of shorts I wear next. Same thing with the jerseys. Several jerseys. Depends on how I shoot. The hair, if you've noticed, always goes in a low bun. So yeah, hair's always in a low bun. It's always the same hair tie.
But now what happens if you lose that hair tie? Then what happens?
I've never lost the hair tie, so I couldn't tell you. What else? Oh, I keep all of my, like, the little receipts things they give you after each stage you shoot.
Yeah.
Every single one I've ever received is in my shooting bag. Yeah, I know.
Still?
Still, yes, there is
Wow.
a pocket dedicated to them. The
Yeah,
amount of
that
chalk.
pocket's gonna get heavy.
Yeah. Oh, it's full. It's like I'm trying to like stuff in there. I'm like, oh, my phone doesn't fit in here anymore. The amount of chalk I put on depends on how I shot in the last stage.
Wait. You have to explain that. What do you mean?
If I shoot good, less chalk. If I shoot bad, clean off the old chalk, put on new chalk.
Okay.
It's weird. It is wild. I don't know where any of these came from, but they are all there. My
They
holster.
seem to work.
Oh, I always line up my holster with the seam on the side of my shorts. I don't know if that's a placement thing, but it feels wrong if it's not lined up. I've got some weird superstitious things, man.
That almost sounds like something someone who served in the military would do. It's got to be lined up with the seam.
The seam has to be straight. Yeah, it's really wild. It's a thing. I don't know. And there's things that I always do. So many people comment on this, but going from like stage to stage and walkthroughs, I always take out one of my ear pro and like put it in my mouth. Like not the whole thing. Like the little stick that sticks out, just that part goes in my mouth, and everyone thinks it's my tongue sticking out of my mouth. I don't know why. They're like, put your tongue back in your mouth. I'm like, it's my earplug. Sorry.
You just tell them, hey, it worked for Michael Jordan. It'll work for me.
Yeah. See? Perfect.
Yeah. He'd fly through the air with his tongue hanging out and then dunk on everybody. So, hey, you can do it.
Oh, another thing people always point out is my guide rod sticks out of the front of my gun because it's a Glock 34 guide rod and a Glock 17. So it's longer, but I keep it because I like it. Because people always ask questions about it. So if you see a guide rod, always after I shoot a stage, the RO was like, hey, something's sticking out of the end of your gun. And we created this big joke. Created by who created this? Gianni. I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Johnny. Like Giordani, Gianni, and Eric Steiner.
Oh, Gianni, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, every time someone's like, your guide rod's sticking out, I say, what's a guide rod? I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean a guide rod sticking out? What is that? And everyone's like, never mind. And I'm like, yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Messing with people now.
It's great.
So let's talk World Shoot. Are you nervous?
I'm excited to shoot. I'm nervous for Thailand. Like I'm nervous to go to another country. I'm excited to see the stages. I'm excited to shoot with a whole bunch of like a new group of people. I am slightly nervous. Just because it's like it's totally new and it's totally different and it's totally like nothing I've ever done before. But it's gonna be exciting. I'm so excited for it. And I think
have you been outside of the country before?
I have not. So this is gonna be my first time.
How long is your flight? Your total flight time?
30 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
Wow.
It's split into two though. It's like 15 and 15. And then there's like, the 3-hour delay in between. So it's gonna be a long day. And the time change is crazy. I don't know if you looked at jet lag or anything, but we leave on Sunday and get there on Tuesday, which is wild. But then on the flight home, we leave on Friday, go to Saturday, come back to Friday, and then land home on Friday.
Yep. I was in the military and I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. Yeah. And I came back to the States for leave one time, and the international date zone is what you cross every time you go back and forth from there. So yeah, it is definitely strange.
It's very puzzling. My mind can't comprehend what is happening.
Yeah, and you won't until you get there, and then you're going to be confused and like, okay, what day is it? What time is it? What's going on?
Yes, because it's a 12-hour difference. It's like, wow, is it 6 p.m. or 6 a.m.? I feel awake. What's happening? Is it 2 a.m. or 2 p.m.? Am I supposed to be eating lunch or sleeping?
Well, and then so that would make me wonder how much time are you going to have from the time you get there till the time the match begins to kind of acclimate to that?
So I'm not sure what day the match. Does the match start on a Monday? Or
I'll tell you in just a second.
because I know we're going some days early, but I don't know how many. We can guesstimate on Monday. I feel like it might be Monday, maybe a Tuesday. I don't know.
Opening ceremony is the 26th. Good thing is
Mm-hmm.
I have a calendar up. All right,
Okay.
so that is a Saturday, and the match
Okay.
starts on Sunday.
Okay. So we're getting there on the 22nd. So we have
Oh, so you're
those.
going to have like 5 days.
Yeah, it's 5 days.
Okay.
I'll be able to do something because that was the whole. We're going that early, and then we're staying a week after. The week early isn't to like see Thailand. That's to like get used to Thailand, like the time difference
Correct. Yes.
and everything. So we're going then. Then we have the match week, and my mom and my brother are coming with me and my dad. So we're staying a week after to go like go see Thailand
To be a
and
tourist.
yes, go be tourists
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm never coming back to Thailand ever. Why not
Uh
stay these extra few days?
you're young. Who knows if that world shoot doesn't go back there someday.
Who
So
knows?
you've
True.
got time.
True. Well, next time I go to Thailand, I'll only have to stay for 4 days or 5 days or whatever it is a week.
Right. You're like, I've already seen it.
Yeah. Oh well.
I've already drank the cobra blood. I'm good. So what are your oh wait, hold on. I need to go back for just a second. Now you also teach shooting, correct?
I have taught some stuff. So
Okay.
my dad is a firearms instructor. So I will go with him sometimes and I'll help with the ladies because the guys they're big cops. They don't want to listen to a little girl. So, but the ladies will. So the ladies are really nice, and I can help them. And I've also taught a girl in a gun class, like a chapter
Oh, okay.
at Brandon Ilias's range. So I went and did that, and that was really cool. And those ladies were awesome, and they were so open to learn. And I kept them for way too long, but they didn't care. And I taught them USPSA because that's a lot of like self defense, and they wanted to get into some USPSA. So we kind of went over like the basics, like the rules, what it's like, what to expect, fundamentals, and then I set up a cool little stage for them, kind of incorporating all the little things we worked on that day. So kind of talked about different sight pictures, like flashing, floating, and focus. So we did that, and then we did right to left movement and like rolling your gun to where your optic is pointing where you're moving. So it had that in, and then trajectory towards. I had like some targets at an angle over a barrel because they were talking about that before I came. So we did that, and they did really good. They did amazing. They figured out that they could quickly shoot alphas, and that there was no need to go slow, and that they can do everything faster. And they learned how to grip their gun harder and in a more efficient way. So I think it was very useful to them, and it was a really cool experience for me.
The reason I ask that is because my next question is like, what are your shooting goals? And like, are you looking to make a career out of this?
So I definitely want to do something with shooting. What like in the like future, like after college, like whether it's like in manufacturing or in like a gun business. I want to like shoot like I'm doing as a job or stay like in this through college, and I want to keep shooting after college, but I think I want to do something in the shooting industry after that too, for however longer. And I would love to teach more classes. I definitely want to do that because I love helping people learn how to be better at shooting, and I like to see them push themselves and see how much they can improve too, but based off of what I can teach them. Like I like seeing what my information gives to other people.
So what do you plan on studying in college? I know you still have a few years, but
Yeah.
do you have any idea?
I don't really have an idea. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I don't know. I'll figure it out next year, I guess. Maybe senior
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
I
you
got
got
3
time.
years to figure this out. I got time.
You do. You do. You definitely have time. There's no rush. Well, Morgan, thank you for coming on. I wish you all the best at the World Shoot. I hope you bring back some type of medal.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure.